Edge runner, afterlife. They're the kings of the trades, making moves in the shadows. They're the masters of the game, slipping on the profits, watching numbers rise and fall. Living fast, make or break. They risk it all. They risk it all. Late nights with
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So following my weekend analysis, I wanted to give a really quick update because Monday provided us with some really nice price action. Okay, so for the bullish scenario that I mentioned during my weekend analysis, we started to take some sell side liquidity, which is what I wanted to see. Although it would be better if we came a little lower into the daily fair value gap before reversing. So ultimately what I'd like to see is price to come somewhere down here, we get some sort of shift, and then we start to push aggressively to the upside. And if we remain bullish, what we really need to do is we need to take out these highs, continue to the upside, get into this fair value gap, probably have some sort of reaction within it, and then break through it. And then after that, we could have a bigger pullback. Normally this fair value gap should hold as we flip the fair value gap. And then after that, further continuation to the upside. And if we get that, we'll likely target the all-time highs. But for the time being, the bearish scenario could still be in play. So let me remove these really quick. So what could happen from here is we could come into one of these inefficient levels, and then after that, reverse, shift, continue to the downside, or potentially we could even go as high as sweeping some liquidity, and then after that, if we have a really aggressive push to the downside, then we may get continuation to the downside. But in order to confirm further continuation, what we really need to do is break this fair value gap. After we break the fair value gap, then we'll probably have some sort of a pullback. The fair value gap should hold, and then after that, further continuation to the downside. If we look at the higher time frame, so you can see we do have a lot of inefficiency to the downside. It could come as low as filling the weekly fair value gap, the lower daily fair value gap here, or it could even continue further to the downside, and then we have the monthly structure in play where we start to go down into the lower levels. And you may be asking why we're turning bearish all of a sudden. So one thing I forgot to mention during my weekend analysis is, well, I mentioned that we wanted to take out some sort of liquidity before coming to the downside. But if you look at ES actually did the job. So ES is the one that came into the daily fair value gap. It cleared liquidity, so it hit the draw on liquidity. And because ES did it, NQ doesn't need to do it. So if one of these pairs hits the draw on liquidity, that's enough. And then after that, we could have the reversal to have the movement in the market that we're expecting. So for now, I'm just closely monitoring and watching price action because anything can happen. So observing and patiently reacting before jumping into any trades. I still think that we could see a big move coming regardless up or down. We had this massive push to the upside, and then we had this consolidation which actually balanced the price in this range, and it's very likely we'll come out of this range really soon, regardless if it's up or down. So anyways, trade safe, and I'll see you for the next one. Peace.